You are listening to an exclusive on Pod Hub Network. Your city, your podcast.
To the delight of this crowd, McClendon marches down the dugout steps with first base. McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. Wow. He is out. The Buccos win.
That ball's hit well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Live. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, as always, Tyler, Jim. How's it going, fellas?
What's going on?
Not much. Not
Lovely.
much. Tyler's once again too busy on his phone right now to say hi, show that beautiful face. The one who makes us late every single week.
Look, I can't help when my computer does its updates. We just were on a Zoom last night, and it decided today was the day.
I'm telling you, you need to set an alarm every Thursday, 6 o'clock. That's when you turn on your computer. That Dell from 1998.
You know how many times I'm going to snooze that thing? For about 8:50.
Because you're at the bar?
No, I have not been to the bar in like 2 weeks.
Really?
Like on a weekday.
That's amazing.
I mean, does the Mexican restaurant count?
Like, were you at a bar at the
No.
Mexican restaurant?
Nope, in a booth.
If you were
Like
in the
6
booth,
times.
it doesn't count then. No.
Okay, well, I haven't sat at a... No, I went to the bar on lunch break.
I mean, I can tell
I
it's been a
lied.
while because I mean, you're over here like this. Like, come on, I mean, I haven't been to a bar in like 2 weeks, guys.
I know, it's been terrible not drinking.
Tyler's literally going through withdrawals right now.
I don't know how...
we had to cancel Starbucks on Wednesday because I was too hungover.
How about that?
How did you do on Tuesday?
Just went to the bar.
Decided you're going to get trashed on a Tuesday.
basically.
On a Tuesday.
I mean,
Getting
what
there.
else are you supposed to do on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Well, if you're
You have a
Tyler,
good
you go to
point.
bed at 9, so that way you can be up for work.
Yes, but I go to bed at 9. I go upstairs and lay in bed at 9. I don't fall asleep till about midnight.
That's what my
Just
grandparents
laying
do.
in bed for 3 hours
No, I'm watching TV.
in bed.
Yeah. There's something nice about that little quiet time you get.
Well, it's not quiet time if you're watching TV.
Yeah, but it's just me. Or I'm playing on my phone watching TikTok.
I usually need about 30 minutes of TikTok time before I go to bed.
Really
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
interesting.
I was waiting to get trashed for having TikTok.
No, it's one of the best apps ever made.
My TikTok is dogs, food, and golf.
For people watching, should North Shore 9 get on TikTok? Do we want to see Jim
No.
and Tyler on TikTok?
No,
Definitely.
No?
No.
Why not?
Definitely.
we can't even
We're
get
too
views
old.
on Twitter.
We're too old for TikTok.
Bucko Mike demands you guys get on TikTok. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it be
the king
great if
says it.
Bucko Mike was just like all over TikTok?
I would follow Bucko Mike on TikTok.
Like no
Yeah,
one
Bu-
knows who he really is. What if he's like the most prevalent like TikToker in the world? That's how he gets all his
Bucko
sources.
Mike, we'll get on TikTok if you cut the videos up and post them for us.
Bucko Mike's actually been catfishing us this whole time.
It's been Neil Huntington.
Yeah, he's actually like in the fight. He's Bob Nutting.
He's probably Dan Fox.
Wouldn't that be great? What if that really
It would
was
be
Bucko
awesome.
Mike?
Yeah, Bucko Mike is Bob Nutting.
And like that phone number I got, like it's just a complete burner anyways. Like I
Right.
think I have
It's
Bucko
one of those-
Mike's number. We're gonna find him. It's just Bob Nutting's burner
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
What if
it's
Bucko
a
Mike-
garbage can now?
What if Bucko Mike is actually the Cardinal scout that took over his account and then he lied about coming back?
I remember that. That was funny. I love you, Bucko Mike. Anyways, so I'm kind of
How about them
upset right
Buccos?
now. Not even the Buccos. Before we get to the Buccos, I'm
Why are you
missing
upset?
Kanye West's debut of his album. It's supposed to start at 8.
You're welcome.
And by the time we were streaming, it still hasn't started yet. So I hate you guys right now. Just to put it out there.
You shouldn't. You don't have to listen to Kanye West.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Kanye West is the GOAT.
No, he's not.
One of them. I know you're gonna give me hell for it.
No.
I don't care. I don't care.
I can legitimately say like I have absolutely zero interest in a Kanye West album being streamed. Is that what's happening?
So it's his listening. So
He's
it's
listening to the
the
album?
listening party, right? Like when you have an album release, they have like a release party, right? It's being streamed on Apple Music, but this is how big Kanye West is. People go to football stadiums to have concerts. He's having his release party there. It's literally in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's stupid.
No,
I don't understand a word you just said.
good.
That's dumb.
That makes me
Anybody's
know
going-
why it's
If,
good.
if you're going to that, then you're dumb.
I'm mad I'm not there.
Dumb.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
Hey,
You're literally
Buck-
gonna
Bucko
like,
Mike
go
just
to
joined.
somewhere. You're gonna go somewhere to watch a concert, but they're not actually doing a concert. They're just playing music.
You're
Like
the
it's
first.
not.
You're the first to hear it in the world.
That's stupid.
In
It's
the
so
world.
dumb.
Whatever. Give me a hate.
Like it's not. I can see going to a movie to be the first to see it.
Yeah, I mean, because that's actually like that. That's what you're doing. Like you go to see a movie. You don't.
I can just like.
Yeah.
I mean,
put
I'm
my
sure it's
earbuds in.
way more than just listening to the album, right, being played because it's Kanye. But I don't know because I'm not there to see it, so I have no idea. Thanks, guys,
You're welcome.
but it's okay.
You're welcome.
I'm here for you guys.
Sounds
I'm
like
here
we're
for
doing you
all.
a favor.
Anyway, so yeah, to those Pittsburgh Pirates then. Swept by the Diamondbacks. Cool stuff, guys. Cool.
Swept by the Diamondbacks. They're still 7 games ahead of the Diamondbacks. That's how bad Arizona has been. The Pirates are really, really gonna have to. If they want that number 1 overall pick, they're gonna have a lot of work to do. Because right now, I don't know how it's gonna happen. 7 games is a lot.
Can we discuss that number 1 overall pick? Like, is that a true thing they should be reaching for? Like, is that per se the goal right now?
I don't think it's the goal, but like
I would hope it's not the goal.
if you're gonna suck, like I guess it's better to suck the most than like to suck the third most.
Right.
I mean, it's better to have your pick of whoever you want, right? As opposed to having to get the third pick. Yeah.
Do you think that though it's possible to have the number 1 pick? Because Jim, let's talk about your entire point of your wins total, right, for this season was that they'd be good, just hanging around like a 60 pace win right now at the trade deadline. They're going to be really, really, really bad. Thing is, they're kind of pretty bad right now, so they're probably going to get much worse. And so, talk to us. Like, do you think you mentioned they're 7 games back from the number 1 pick right now with the Diamondbacks? Do you think that they could end up actually with the number 1 pick right now this year?
I don't think they can catch Arizona. 7 games is a lot. Like the Pirates are basically they're at a 60 win pace right now so far. The Diamondbacks, to kind of go for reference here, let's see, they are at a 49. The Diamondbacks are at a 49.5 win pace. Like if the Diamondbacks keep that up, there's no way the Pirates can catch them.
Yeah, you're talking about 11 game difference right there.
We could only win 13 more games the rest of the year.
Jim's like challenge. I'm sorry, Shelton's like challenge accepted.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening.
And
I think right
we
now
talked
they're
about
looking at like a 4 or 5. They're probably looking at number 3 or 4, actually. 3 or 4.
we talked about the Pirates getting much worse after the trade deadline. Diamondbacks are going to do the same thing. They're going to get even. They're not getting better. Let's put it that way. I don't know if they can get worse.
They're not getting better, but like if they trade Escobar, I guess that's a big piece of their team. I don't think they're moving Ketel Marte or anything. So
Yeah, I think they're pretty vocal.
like I think Escobar is pretty much all they have, really.
And I almost feel like that's where I differ a little bit, Tyler. Like you say, they can't get any worse, but it's hard to be as bad as they are. You know what I mean? Like to a degree, they probably could have the same team and play better just because it's so difficult to be a 49 win team. It's so bad that just by like the roll of the dice, they could actually be better and win a few more games, as they did with the Pirates.
God only knows what their win total was looking like before that Pirate series.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row. They've won 4 in a row, and they're still only on a 49 win pace.
They were probably like a 42 win pace.
Yeah, like ridiculous. But no, I don't know if the Pirates are going to be able to pass up Arizona or Baltimore. So they're going to be in a race with the Rangers, I think, for that 3rd pick. Rangers have lost 9 in a row.
There's some bad baseball being played right now.
This is bad. There's a lot of bad teams.
Yeah,
There
the
is.
Pirates,
Pirates included.
Pirates are 4th. Pirates are 4th right now.
And if you watch them, you would think they are. This is probably the worst Pirates team last year excluded because last year didn't count. We've seen since probably 2008?
Like those John Russell years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Huntington's first year of just absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, in
They
comparison,
win 60 games.
this is what we kind of prepared for. I mean, we're already going into the season figuring that's what this team was going to be, likely. I just hope that like the 2013 years are way more accelerated. You know, like we're not looking 5 years away to get there, which I don't think they are.
Yeah. So like 2010,
Those aren't
we
middle.
lost
fingers.
105. We lost 105 games.
Okay, it was
Yeah.
2010 was
That
the year I was
was-
thinking of, I think.
That was pretty much it.
Oh, wait, would have been Adam LaRoche and Xavier Nady and all those guys.
Was Lastings Millage on that team too?
He probably would have got there. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Because that would have been Kutch's second year.
Lastings Millage played 58 games for the 2008 Pirates.
That was my boy.
I think everybody loves him.
I love Lastings.
Just a weird player to love. He stunk.
But honestly, like
He was not that good. No.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of bad baseball teams, but the Pirates are bad. They're definitely going to get worse. But I don't know if I look at this. I don't know if I'm rooting for like them to lose in that sense to get it. It just like what happens. But I do think they had the top 5 like locked. It's a lock, which is good enough. They've had 2 number 1 picks in a row. They're going to get another top 5 pick next year. Like it's good enough. But again, like we've been talking, like there has to be improvement on this team. Has to be quick. But let's talk about the Diamondback series because again, like it was just funny. They go and play the Mets. They have a very good series, very entertaining. They win. Then they go into Arizona, and like they forget how to play baseball again. Like the pitching is just terrible. No one can hit except for Nagowski, of course, hits his first home run. But what happened? It's the Diamondbacks. They're a pathetic team.
They just didn't play good baseball, like at all. Like they couldn't hit, they couldn't pitch. I mean, that first game of the series, it was just kind of your typical Chase DeYoung start, where he goes 4 innings and gives up 4 runs. The bullpen pitched well, but it was a very underwhelming series, really, for everybody involved. Reynolds hit. Hayes looked like he was kind of waking up a bit. So I guess we're talking positives. Like Hayes was making loud contact, I feel like, every game.
Mm-hmm.
And he had at least 2 multi-hit games during that series. So that was good to see. But yeah, I mean, outside Brian Reynolds, it wasn't great.
Right.
I think Hayes even made an error, right? Hayes made like just a routine misplayed a ground ball, went like right under his glove.
Was that the Arizona series?
Was it?
I think it was.
Okay. I know what you talked about. I couldn't remember if it was Arizona or if that was against the Mets.
That may have been against the Mets.
Was it? I feel like it was like a first game against Arizona. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Could be crazy.
It was very out of character.
No, it was. Yeah. Bad baseball.
I don't really know what to add about, like, it's just 2 bad teams playing and one bad team was a little bit better on 3 days.
Yeah.
I guess you chalk it up as it's baseball.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I chalk up the Mets series too. It's baseball. Though, if you play enough baseball games, you're gonna have a few good ones.
Right. I mean, it
Austin
helped that
Davis
like some crazy plays happened in the Pirates' favor for the Mets one though too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that series was fun. Even whenever, we lost, it was still a fun game. But yeah, what was Austin Davis and Clay Holmes gave up like 8 runs in 1 inning to the Diamondbacks. I don't know how you do that, but they somehow figured it out. Yeah, it wasn't great. Kranick started and looked bad. He was getting rocked.
Can we discuss Clay Holmes? Like, I'm tired. I felt like all season, I said some things and got some flack for it. But Clay Holmes is not good, right? Like, can we put that to bed? Like, Clay Holmes is not a good pitcher. He hasn't been. He isn't, and he won't be. Are we done with Clay Holmes finally?
I mean, I think he was put to bed in 2019, but
That's an evergreen statement.
There was a little bit of a resurrection, I feel, with Clay Holmes, like when he was mid-April, late April, something, and no, Clay Holmes is good, and it's like, no, he's bad. He's bad.
He's not. He's bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're done with Clay Holmes. Stamp it, right?
Clay Holmes for.
Thank God.
Yeah, been done with Clay Holmes for a long time.
Clay Holmes is not even like he's like a young guy either. Like he's 28 years old and he's pitched 118 innings in Major League Baseball. And like he's never been effective at all.
Never.
It's
ever,
very bad.
ever.
It's very sad that he's pitched 118 innings, to be honest.
Kind of tells you where the Pirates are at. In this,
because he's been
bullpen.
bad.
I mean, he's never had an ERA under 5.
Like he's not good. Every time even whenever he gets results, it's like that didn't look good.
No, he's not good at all.
He doesn't hit spots. Stuff's fine, I guess, but there are a bunch of guys with fine stuff.
That's the thing.
I guess he
you look at him and it's
mold.
like, right. Like he's a 95, 96 mile an hour right-handed pitcher who throws a sinker, right? It's literally everybody can do that nowadays.
Yeah. Bucko Mike says Holmes is a poor man, Mike Lincoln.
It's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Mike Lincoln. Mike Lincoln could not throw, didn't have nearly the stuff that Clay Holmes had.
I mean, relative to his time, he might have.
But as we alluded to, as Tyler just said, that's a name you haven't heard in a long time. Who would be a guy that could remember that name?
Cam Bonifay.
Is that who Bucko Mike is?
Cam Bonifay.
We found the burner. It's Cam Bonifay. Okay, I'll take that. That's the real identity of Bucko Mike. We know it's an insider. It's someone who's been with the Pirates organization. I like it. So,
all of Cam
by the way,
Bonifay's sources, or is it Dave Littlefield? Could be Dave Littlefield.
Oh, he's busy.
I see Dave Littlefield all the time.
I was going to say, I don't
like,
think Dave Littlefield would have the time because he's everywhere to
Dave
put in the
Wilson's
work that
everywhere.
Bucko Mike does. Nor do I feel like the Styles is there at all. Bucko Mike's too mean to be David Littlefield.
He's too mean to be. So
Bucko Mike, that was Bucko Mike, that was a great trade for Brian Giles.
Thanks, Bucko Mike. We do have a question in the chat I wanted to get to, even though it kind of passed. But question is, if you have to tank for the number one pick, which we talked about here, for the tanking, whatever, if you have to tank for the number one pick, do you want Clint Barmes or Kevin Newman at shortstop? Is that like an easy no-brainer? Like you just want Kevin Newman, right?
I mean, how old is Clint Barmes now?
Yeah, do we get like...
Are we talking current Clint Barmes? And we're still kind of unsure.
I mean, Clint Barmes hasn't played Major League Baseball in 6 years. He's 42 years old. I got to think Kevin Newman's probably better than him, actually.
I don't know. I think that's a tough call right now.
Give me, if we're tanking, give me a 42-year-old out of baseball for 6 years, Clint Barmes.
I'm still taking Kevin Newman. I'm afraid Clint Barmes might come on the scene and hit at a 60 weighted run credit plus, and it screwed the tank because he was too good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Kevin Newman as well because we have a manager that's dumb enough to hit him lead off.
I think you can make an argument for either side. Kevin Newman, they're very like career numbers, almost identical weighted runs created plus. Clint Barmes was definitely the better fielder. I don't know. I don't know how Clint Barmes has aged, So that, I guess that's the X factor here is 42-year-old Clint Barmes a lot worse than 35-year-old Clint Barmes was? I don't know.
Does it help that 32-year-old Clint Barmes looked like 42-year-old Clint Barmes?
On Craig's eye.
32-year-old, by the way, 32-year-old Clint Barmes, best season of his career.
Was that his Houston
with
year?
the Astros?
That was his Houston year. 2.7 wins above replacement.
Yeah.
What do you have, like a 93 WRC plus in that? Is that the year you had like...
You're ridiculous. How do you just spew these off?
I don't know.
It was 93.
Right?
It was 93.
Okay.
Jeez, I thought it was actually a good offer. I thought if I were to guess, I would have said 107 or something. I thought he actually had.
It was like 93 because he hit like 20 homers in Colorado, but had like a 77 or something weird.
He did it 1 year in Colorado. He had 23 homers and had a 79 weighted runs created plus.
Sounds about right.
WRC plus changes, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
You're
homeless with an iPhone just joined.
That's probably about.
We were talking TikTok. It's probably
interesting. Is that Bucko Mike's other burner?
That's another burner. Yeah.
That's actually Bob Nutting. So, anyways, that answers that question. But I guess so we'll get back to the Mets. I'm sorry, the Diamondback series, and right, Clay Holmes is not a good pitcher, but right, that Diamondback series was just terrible baseball. And like what stunk about it, Tyler, as you'll hear in the episode coming out. Which, by the way, let's talk about it. We do have a podcast coming out this Sunday. When we've had some guests on and such, we released it as like a Sunday podcast, but we kind of rebranded the show. So it's WNS9 Plus. It'll be out this Sunday. What we're going to do as well is we'll have the show streamed on YouTube directly after Sunday's game. This time only on YouTube. So if you're watching us right now, you're probably watching us on Twitter, most likely, even though we do stream to YouTube and Twitch. But for the Sunday shows, they'll be just on YouTube. And subscribe, North Shore 9 on YouTube, Sunday directly after the game. We'll have the link out there on Twitter or wherever. But directly after the game, you can watch it live with us. And then we'll have it on the podcast form as well. But yeah, as Tyler said... Oh, I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, as Tyler said on that show, the games were so late that he didn't even get to watch them, which was like a good thing for him. And I feel like for you and I, Jim, the games are so late that there was so bad baseball, like you just regretted staying up for it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There wasn't really anything exciting about the games at all, especially after the weekend series against the Mets. Like that was fun. This Diamondback series really not fun in any way.
One thing I will give this team is even if it's that late, I will watch it, but I'll watch it till like the Hayes or actually the Reynolds like second or third at bat, and that's when it gets shut off. So at least there's something that I'm like, let me just, we're at 8 in the order. Let's just stay at one more inning.
It's like that Ralph Kiner effect in the 50s. Ryan Reynolds is Ralph Kiner.
Hey, we sucked with you. We'll suck without you.
Yeah, Ethan just commented. He said, good. NS9 was always a bad stat. It'll be better now that it's weighted for league and park factors.
I mean, it's true. Hey, we're just trying to, put everything on a level playing field so we can like really evaluate each episode.
There you go. We get hammered. We got the Coors effect, We get hammered on that stat.
I mean, Anheuser-Busch.
Jeez. That's what brings it down. We'd be 100 WNS9 plus, but Tyler with his shitty ass beer. But
delicious beer. Thank you.
No, it's terrible. You're just filled with bad takes, like absolutely awful takes.
You be nice.
Tell me that's a 30 pack too.
Oh, it's only a 12er.
So what are you gonna do the rest of the night?
I gotta work in the morning. I mean, can't get too crazy.
It's just a 12er. Can't get too crazy.
God.
Yeah. Sorry, Fred.
So, I guess can we just put it to bed? Diamondback series was terrible. We can move forward.
Yeah.
Let's
do.
So, Diamondback series, nobody wants to talk about it. To be honest, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about it.
Like it was Chase DeYoung, Max Kranick, and Anderson pitched. Is that right?
No.
He pitched against the Mets.
The second game.
Kranick, DeYoung, and
I can't remember.
Who are we missing? Wasn't Brubit? No.
It was Anderson. Anderson pitched on.
I was going to
Tuesday.
say, yeah, he threw what, six and gave up 3?
Yeah, 6 and 3. So.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
It's not an exactly exciting group.
How about the Pittsburgh Pirates now go to what is somehow the best team in the major leagues, the San Francisco Giants?
Right.
How are they still? Like, I know they started off hot and we were like, okay, this is cute and everything. But like they're still holding off the Dodgers and the Padres.
I don't
2-game
understand
lead
it.
on the Dodgers, and they're the best team in baseball.
And it's not as if the Dodgers or the Padres are struggling. It's not like a scenario where they're just underperforming.
No. Yeah.
They're playing great.
Right. It's amazing to see. Like they're 60 and 35. They're gonna go into this series winning 7 out of their last 10. Brandon Crawford and Buster Posey are both having career years.
True.
The rotation is terrible but great.
Like it's crazy. Like they got Kevin Gossman is like legit. Like, because you could even make an argument here. Like, I know like Jacob deGrom's on a whole other planet, but like at some point you do have to penalize deGrom a little bit for just being hurt a lot. Like, I mean, he's pitched 15 games this year, so I mean he's missed some time. But like probably the next best pitcher in the National League year to date is Kevin Gossman, right?
Correct.
Which is crazy. He's got a 1.84 earned run average in 117 innings. And then right behind him is Anthony DeSclafani, who we're used to seeing him just shit the bed in Cincinnati year after year. And he's got a 2.78 ERA in 113 innings. Like those two guys are like legit 1 and 2 pitchers right now. And then they kind of mix in, Logan Webb, younger guy, having a good year. Alex Wood is having a good year. Cueto is doing fine. Like it's a solid rotation. No one on that rotation has an ERA over 4.01. Cueto's the worst one on the team. It's 4.01.
I feel like this is like the 5th time with Alex Wood we've been like, all right, he's done. And then he bounces back and just has a good year. And then he goes shit to bed the next year. Gets paid nothing. Then bounces back, has a great year.
It's crazy. Somebody who, I mean, he's only 30 years old. You would think he's like 36 by this point. But 30 years old, he has 7 years of service time. And he's played on 5 different teams.
5.
well, if you count the Dodgers seconds, he was with the Dodgers twice. So yeah, like the guy basically switches teams every year, and he alternates like between being good and bad and good and bad. Like, yeah, it's insane. But this is a good year for him. He hasn't been good since 2018, really. But he's back at it now.
Yep. But and the thing is, like you talk about DeGrom, and he's hurt again. Like DeGrom might not win the Cy Young. Like it literally could be Kevin Gausman. And part of that too is you're talking here, Jim. Now you said the names, but before you got there, I would have bet, like anyone who's in this stream right now, right, or anyone listening to this podcast right now, if I were to ask you to name 2 starters in this rotation, I don't know if anyone would have like been able to do it, and if so, very, very, very few. Who even knows Kevin Gausman's playing there, right? Who knows Dave Sclafani's there? Like probably would have been Cueto, and that's it. That's it. I guarantee, you know what I mean? Like I bet you so many people would not have even known 2 people on this rotation, and they're like Gausman's lights out right now.
And what's funny is like how everybody's always like, what if the Pirates hadn't gotten rid of all these starting pitchers? This entire Giants starting rotation used to be Cincinnati Reds.
Yes.
Cueto, Wood, DeSclafani, Gausman, all ex-Reds. 4 out of the 5 starting pitchers in this rotation are ex-Cincinnati Reds.
That's funny.
I just remember like everyone, wasn't it the Phillies that offered him a qualifying offer, Gausman, and everyone just trashed him like 3 years ago because he wasn't good?
Was it Philly? No,
Orioles?
It was. No, the Orioles traded him. Orioles traded him to Atlanta.
Could be crazy.
Deal. Then Atlanta traded him to the Reds in a deadline deal.
I could be crazy on it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. Maybe Atlanta. No, I don't know. Maybe Atlanta did, and he took it.
Just continue.
Wait, no, that was this year.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
I'm looking back in the day. It might not be Gausman.
You might be right because he's on a 1-year, $18 million deal this year.
That was this year. The Braves offered him.
I know, but I'm thinking of someone else. Go ahead and continue.
The Braves. I say the Braves.
He's making $18 million this year.
I think I got mixed up because there was like a point where people wanted the Pirates to trade for Gausman for some reason, and he was bad.
That was the Archer.
That was 2018. Yeah,
the Archer year.
It was like, hey, we could trade for Kevin Gausman, or we could trade for Chris Archer, and they traded for Archer, which was
how things could have changed.
Yeah, not a good decision.
No, let's move on.
But yeah, like this rotation though, this Giants team, like they just like pieced this thing together. Logan Webb, I think, is the only one who I think Logan Webb is homegrown, so they've got him. But the rest of them are just free agent signings who are like they're okay guys, but you wouldn't think that they would make up probably the best rotation in Major League Baseball, maybe outside Milwaukee.
And that was to me like all by design. Like the Giants, they went out and said, no one values these older players anymore. And what we're going to do is we're going to scoop them all up. And look what has happened. I mean, You got to hand it to them. When I was seeing all these signs, I'm sure a lot of people, which is why all of us are saying, like, there's no way they're still this good. You see these signings, and you're like, what are they doing? What have the Giants been doing for so long? You know, we kind of questioned that for a while, and then they went and like doubled down, like you said, Jim. Like they're so old, they like doubled down and said, "We'll just continue being old. We'll sign all these other old guys that no one values." And here they are, like they're in first place, being the Dodgers and the Padres, like the young, fun Padres. You know, the big bad Dodgers, and it's like, oh, here's a bunch of cast-off nobody literally wanted, especially the Reds. And we're going to just go out there and be better than all of you. Ha ha ha.
I mean,
and one for the record, I was thinking of Jeremy Hellickson. Who was basically the same guy for a while. And two, watch the Pirates just go light up the Giants, because that's basically.
I feel like, did you get a qualifying offer a few times? Hellickson?
He was terrible.
Hellickson was good though for like a year or two.
I'm gonna take us off on a Hellickson tangent. My bad. Get back to the Giants.
Yeah, let's not talk about Hellickson. But no, like to go back to the age thing, like looking at their offense, Brandon Belt, 33 years old. Darren Ruff. Do you remember Darren Ruff? Like, dude's still somehow in baseball. He's 34 years old and like crushing the ball.
1.5 WAR, Darren Ruff.
Yeah. A 153 weighted runs created plus. He's just mashing. He's a 555 slugging percentage. Evan Longoria, who I think is hurt right now, so I don't think he's playing anymore. But then there's like Yastrzemski. You would think he's kind of young, but he's not. He's 30. Buster Posey, 34. Brandon Crawford, 34. So this whole team is made up of like 33 to 35-year-old dudes, and they're all
let's also bring up
really good years.
And I was gonna say, I know he's not having the best year this year, but let's also bring up Donovan Solano, who just like was out of baseball for like 4 years, and like just popped up with the Giants, and like, oh, let me just go and try to get a batting title now. So, you know, this year it's not as good, but yeah, like there's another guy, Donovan Solano, who I think has like 2 more years of arbitration. He's like 38 years old.
He's in 270. But yeah, I mean, the last 2 years he's been over 325. Like, where did that come from?
And Evan Longoria somehow found the fountain of youth before he ripped up his shoulder.
Yeah, Longoria was having a good year.
Because
he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. Like, remember earlier in the season we did that episode where it was like, are these guys Hall of Famers or not? You know, Longoria would be one of those guys where, like, if you looked at the first 6 to 7 years of his career, you'd be like, all right, this guy's looking pretty good. And then really once he went to San Francisco, just tailed off, right?
Oh, yeah.
But if he had, you know, if he could put together maybe 3 or 4 more good years, then you could build a case for him. So
he's 35.
I don't know if he was like on the verge of doing that, because I mean he had a really good start this year, but yeah, doesn't look like he's going to be able to complete that.
However, the Busted Posey one, like Posey definitely is back.
Yeah,
for sure.
Posey's back. Yeah. Which
Pirates will have their own version of him pretty soon.
Yes, they will. Hopefully.
Well, and what I want to say too is like the dynamic of this with the Giants. We're talking about them, like seeing what they've done. Right, they've pieced a lot of stuff together. I mean, isn't this something that the Pirates could potentially be doing in like the next few years? Right. No. I mean, isn't this what we're kind of talking about? Like, can't they?
No.
I think what you're hoping is the Pirates are the Giants of 10 years ago, you know, in the next few years.
Okay. I know where you're coming from, but
you know, I mean,
I guess what I'm alluding to is like next year, like we're talking about next year, like we should see improvement, right?
Yeah.
Can't the Pirates like go out this offseason and piece some trash together and be somewhat formidable this upcoming year? Now it's not going to be like, it's not going to be like, you know, they're going to do this for the secure. I mean, eventually this core is going to come up. Like you're saying, the Giants of 10 years ago, like eventually that's going to come, but can't they like prelude that to a Giants type team?
No,
because
the Giants paid a lot of money for that trash. Like Johnny Cueto makes a lot of money. Evan Longoria still makes a lot of money.
So I mean, that already happened.
I think what you're talking more about is like, I mean, go out there and like you find someone on the scrap heap like Darren Ruff, right? Who's making probably $1 million this year, and just he plays first base and
Alex Wood
outfield and just mashes, right? And yeah, or you find these pitchers who all of a sudden are having career years like Anthony DeSclafani and Alex Wood. Yeah, like those types of guys. I mean, DeSclafani making $6 million this year. Like that was a 1
Alex
year
Wood's
deal.
making 3.
Like, yeah. So like I think you could totally go out and do that kind of stuff. The problem is you may not have the supporting cast. You probably do actually. I mean, if you look at like Posey and Crawford, what they're doing, Reynolds and Hayes could easily be doing that. So I mean, I see where you're
songs
coming
behind the
from a little
dish.
bit. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I'm not coming here and saying like the best team in baseball, but I'm saying like, can't they take that approach? I mean, I'm sure these guys are still going to be very undervalued in that sense, like these older players. And of course they have to hit. If these guys weren't hitting, the Giants wouldn't be that good. But
Right.
like, can't that be what 2022 kind of is for the Pirates? Like they just kind of piece some of this stuff together, bring some guys in that are older, undervalued, and go out there and perform and compete. And like then 2023 comes, and that's when you're starting to see this core come up and whatnot. I would not hate that at all.
I think that could totally happen. I think the Giants too, and I haven't really heard a ton of rumors about it, but I think the Giants are a team that could be a perfect fit for Adam Frazier. If we're talking like trade possibilities there, because like right now, they're pretty much they're playing Solano at second. I mean, I'm sure they would love to upgrade that to somebody like Frazier.
And then, like on top of it, like Crawford is one on the IL for an oblique strain.
Yeah.
So
I think the Giants could potentially be pretty good trade partners. They've got the farm system to be able to pull it off too. So I think maybe this could be like a maybe who knows? Maybe we go to San Francisco with Adam Frazier and he just stays there.
Isn't the
San
Giants
Francisco
farm
treat,
system
baby.
absolutely terrible though?
The what?
Isn't their farm system bad? Or am I thinking of someone
It's
else?
not that bad. No, it's pretty good.
Okay, I might be crazy. I'm just basing it off one tweet I saw earlier that I don't know if it was about them or not,
No,
to be honest.
they're not bad at all.
But I mean, we watch the Rays do it every year where they just find these scrap value dudes that somehow rake. So why can't the Pirates do that for 1 year?
True.
Right.
But then they also trade
But
guys
you got to be smart. You got to be lucky.
like Evan Longoria, who turn into a complete pumpkin the second they trade him. Chris Archer. Right? Like their timing, I'm sorry. I understand like you don't want to see that for baseball. It's not per se good for baseball in the team, but like they hit so well. I don't know what it is, but they're money like 98% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at a guy like Yandy Diaz, though. He was a castaway in Cleveland, and he just goes to Tampa, and they find a way to make it work with him. But it would be absolutely miserable to be a fan of a team like the Rays.
Right.
I mean, you could.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they win, but like you could have.
I
have
get that.
Zero attachment to any player. Like, don't get attached to anybody.
I would
Even
say
more
it would
so,
be
like,
annoying.
coming from a Pirates fan. Yeah.
I don't know if it would be terrible because it's probably not terrible to be winning. And it's probably not terrible that you're in the World Series last year, but it would be annoying.
Get that.
It would be annoying.
Okay, maybe up until last year, that might have been like a satisfaction. But before that, it's like we're in the playoffs. Everyone I like, they trade.
Do you want to see the same
Goodness.
faces lose every year, or would you want to see different faces being in the playoffs every year?
I mean, nobody watches the same faces for the Rays because they don't have any fans.
That too.
Well,
Like the biggest
No one-
Rays fans are
No one
Pirates
watches the
fans.
Rays.
what's that, Tyler?
I see more Pirates fans that are fans of the Rays than actual Rays fans.
Yeah.
It's like Pirates fans' second team.
Well, they have I mean, just the whole situation that was terrible. They need a new stadium, like completely.
I mean, yeah, it's just impossible to get to. It's so far
Right.
just cut off from everybody.
Right.
Maybe the Rays was a bad
And
example,
it's
but
not worth the travel.
like the A's, on the other hand, who are like the AL version of them, or I guess they're both in the AL, but the not so good version of them, who just churn in the Billy Bean years,
Mhm.
that would be miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
like,
the A's,
again,
the A's basically make
winning-
the playoffs every year. Yeah. Then they kind of
I guess,
they stall.
It's like
but
again,
like
it
you
just
get a
would be
superstar,
annoying.
and it's like, like Josh Donaldson comes up and it's like 3 years later. All right, see you. And we get Jed Lowry.
And then he rakes though, and you're like, well, damn, this
But he
sucked.
didn't.
But
He actually sucked.
did he?
It was just, yeah. Or maybe I'm not thinking of Jed Lowry. I'm thinking of Brett Lowry.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, he sucked
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brett
that's a
Lowry
good one.
was not good.
I was like, Jed was
Jed
pretty
Lowry
dominant.
had a pretty
Uh-huh.
pretty good year his first year there with Oakland. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
even after that, yeah. But no, I think we could definitely see the Pirates do something where they piece together some veterans to add in with their core next year. You could try to do something like what the Giants are doing right now. Like I don't think anybody would expect that, but you could easily put something together, spend a little bit of money. I'm not talking about spending a lot, but spend a little bit of money. Maybe get your payroll up to 60 or 65 million, 70 million. Like that's not asking too much here.
Well, like
and
Dallas,
put together
Alex
a-
Wood, $6 million. You know,
put together a half competent team.
Ruff was what 1.5, 2 million, if that.
Yeah.
Like there's
1.3.
Especially when you look
1.3.
at this rotation, though, like what's coming up next year. It's not like you're blocking anyone.
no.
Like, I don't want to watch Will Crow throw more baseballs.
Will Crow, Chase DeYoung, I don't want to see them start a single game next year. I would prefer
Just
to not have to see that.
like,
I'm on
don't give
board.
me the Cahill versions. No, just give me a little bit more. Not asking much.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
I just feel. I mean, Cahill signed so late too, and like you just needed arms and such. I don't want to see a Cahill next year either.
Let's get back to that reclamation
The
stuff.
bar's got to be a little bit higher. Tyler
Like
Anderson's a perfect one.
Like dude Tyler Anderson, like do like 2 or 3 of those. Like, yeah, do that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then hopefully you've got Brubaker, and you can kind of piece together, the rest of the rotation with Brubaker. And hopefully Kella figures it out. Who knows what he's doing? He still doesn't look great, even in AAA. So who knows? I say you just keep him down there for a while, until he can prove that he can dominate. But yeah, hopefully they can kind of piece together a rotation. Yahore, would be back by then, hopefully, as long as he stays healthy here. Got some good, looks like there's some good news with Yahore. I know we haven't really talked about him in a while, but
Yeah.
throwing side sessions, so he's at least throwing. So it would be kind of cool to see him back on a mound maybe next month in August.
I'm at the point where I'd be okay just shutting them down.
Well, if he's throwing, I mean, if he's capable of doing it, like if he doesn't have any arm pain, then let him pitch.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
I'd rather see him pitch than not. That's
I'm
for
just
sure.
being overly cautious.
Mhm.
I don't want to,
20
because at this
innings.
point, if he hasn't got the zipper, I want it to push off as far as possible.
I hear you. He may have, though, because he didn't pitch in 2017. I wonder if he got it in like 2016. I have to look that up.
I don't think he did.
I mean, he literally did not pitch in 2017. So
I just don't want it to be like a tie-on type deal where we wait and rehab, and then
Well,
6 months later we finally decide, all right, we got to do it.
right, but I feel like this is
he
different.
did have.
It sounds.
He did
different.
have Tommy John surgery.
He did. Okay. Well, then it's done.
Yep.
It's out the way.
Good job, Jim.
Let's
It
hope it's
would
not a
have
second.
caused
Yeah,
him
'cause-
to miss his entire 2017 season.
All right, good job, Jim.
But anyways, yeah,
So, yeah,
it
he's already
definitely,
had it.
definitely
He's
sounds
good.
like he's coming back to the mound and pitching. Like I don't think this is a Tyone cool situation where they're going to try, and then in September we're going to find out they're getting Tommy John. But again, fingers crossed. I don't know.
Same thing with Contreras.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's the one that you really, really don't want anything to happen to. I would be more cautious with Contreras than Yahore. You want to make sure that you want to make sure he's feeling real good. But again, according to Todd Tomczyk, Contreras is feeling better, and I think they said he's throwing now too.
Yeah.
So good news on both of those.
Seems very positive so far.
Yeah.
Which, Jim, to your statement though, you said you'd rather be more cautious on Contreras, and I'm not. I mean, this maybe it's just odd that we're talking about this, but like again, Yahuri was like the piece in that deal, and Contreras was like the afterthought, and here we are 7 months later, and you're like, well, let's definitely be cautious with Contreras, but Yahuri just go out there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Contreras at this point, I mean, you got to look at him as
the stud.
He's a potential number 2 starter for you, like going forward. Like if you're thinking about like what this rotation could look like down the road, you're probably thinking, okay, Priester number 1, Contreras number 2. Like that's kind of what you're hoping for.
He's a dude that I think we talked about it last night when we asked Mike, but you could be looking at maybe your top prospect in 2023, like top 1 or 2, maybe top 3.
I would hope by the 2023 he is here and arrived.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the 40 man, so you got to think 40 man. He's using up an option this year, using up an option next year. His last year he could even be in the minors is going to be 2023.
So going into 2023 is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No, but I get that point.
Yeah.
But also to the thing is, I'm honestly looking at him like to be a call up next year.
Yep.
Which theoretically he might still end up being a prospect. I mean, depends when the call up is. He could theoretically still be a prospect. But I hope he's up here next year at some point.
Well, like being on the 40-man roster too actually plays into that, right? If you call Contreras up, you don't have to DFA somebody, whereas if you call up just somebody who maybe you need a spot start or something like that, you don't want to maybe DFA somebody just to call up somebody to make a spot start, right? Whereas Contreras is already going to be on that 40-man. It actually makes him easier to make a debut than others, right? Kind of like how kind of like a Rodolfo Castro situation this year where, even though he's in AA, since he's on the 40-man, it just makes sense to kind of use him as like one of those guys that you have to call up and send down just because you don't have to lose anybody.
Right.
Speaking of Rodolfo, is he the guy that takes over second base after Adam Frazier gets traded?
That's a great
question.
I
was thinking about that today. That is a good question. I think you've got to, right?
I don't think you can go Tucker.
No.
He's been given enough chances.
Yeah. Like just
Defoe is what Defoe is.
With what he showed.
Gonna say Defoe. That to me is like the only, and of course Defoe's playing so well, but I think we talked about a little bit on the show too here on one Sunday. I mean, Defoe could end up being a sweetener somewhere. Like Defoe could end up being traded. We don't know. Like that would of course help. Like if that's the case, I think Defoe's the only one standing in the way. I don't foresee Tucker. I think honestly, my point of view, Tucker's a complete afterthought.
I don't think this new
they're
regime
in any plans.
really think much of him. Yeah.
He might actually get dealt at the deadline as well, just like flip him and bring something else back and call it a day.
I mean, I think Cole Tucker is one. Like if you're talking about this roster crunch that's going to happen this offseason with all these people who are Rule 5 eligible, I mean, Cole Tucker's 40-man spot is definitely not stable going into this offseason.
Yeah, he might. Yeah. But I'm just talking in the future, very near future, he might deal him and clear up that spot a lot quicker. I mean, I'm just talking for some scrub in the Dominican League. I don't know, or rookie ball.
If that happens, if that's, I'll put it this way: however it happens, whether it's that or just saying "see you later," I honestly don't feel Cole Tucker's a Pirate on 2022. I mean, I would give it like
at this point, a
65-35 Cole Tucker not being a Pirate compared to being a Pirate next year. I think this whole regime is over him in that sense. And I think the biggest thing too is the fact, like you're saying, Jim, there's a huge roster crunch coming up. And it's only going to get worse because all these kids are coming up and they're going to have to be on the 40-man. They're going to have to get here. Like Cole Tucker, to me, it's over. He hasn't proved it in Indy still. You know, how's he going to come up to the MLB?
Bucko Mike does bring up a point. They did just sign D. Strange Gordon, so maybe he's the guy who just fills in at second base.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah. Right.
Because you got to think maybe Gordon probably doesn't sign without that. Like the Pirates are probably like, hey, we're probably going to trade our starting second baseman. So that might open up a spot for you.
I'm just throwing something out there. So Frazier's traded, right? Could D. Strange Gordon be like that utility type? Because he plays outfield also. And this team needs outfielders. And I don't know what's going to happen, but there is potential, right? If that trade deadline comes and goes, and we can maybe talk to this too, what is Polanco's future here? I mean, if it's like if to get Castro's bat into this lineup and stuff, like, are you willing to sacrifice Polanco, for that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that depends on what the front office thinks about Polanco outside of his baseball skills.
I think it's highly.
See,
which is why I think he might stick around.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. Like, I think the front office actually, I think Gregory Polanco is just like a good person to have on the team. Like he's a good teammate, maybe. So I would be surprised. Like before, if you would ask me 3 months ago, is Polanco even going to be on this team in August? I may have said no, but I think Polanco rides out the rest of the year with the team.
Especially if you get some like future call-ups that might be Dominican. I think it helps a good bit because he just seems like a good veteran to have around. And there are enough guys on this team that suck that you can get rid of over Polanco.
Well, I mean, Tom, number one, absolutely. But like to me, Tom's done. Like he needs to be done too. But I don't know, man. Like
they've made it almost this far now. Like I wonder if they're just going to stick it out with him and just because he's in the Rule 5-6. Like
at this point, I wouldn't be shocked though if the Pirates give him Polanco a minor league deal next year, just to bring it in spring training. If he rides out this year,
maybe
I'm not gonna say
I would doubt it,
but I doubt it.
I would doubt it, but I wouldn't be as shocked as I would have been like coming into this year. It's like he's done in June.
I think
or
it's
July when they trade him more.
Book. I mean, once again, this is a whole different regime. It's not as if they're tied to him. He's not good. Find someone else who has the potential that can also be on the team.
I'm with you there.
I get you about Polanco, and I do feel like he's a good clubhouse guy and a good teammate. He's just all around awesome dude or whatever. People seem to really like him, So there is that part to it, but also in the same sense, there's a part of you have to create some type of winning culture. You have to create something. Our whole thing, like there was an absolute reason of keeping Polanco. It's because he is a lottery ticket. He's a guy who could turn it on and present, 20 plus home run power, become a trade chip. You lose some, bit of that contract, you gain some in return, but clearly that's not going to happen. Like that's done. There's no trade for Gregory Polanco this year. So at what expense is it now to keep him if he has some guys who might have earned some of the play? I mean, Oliva, I'm not saying he's great, but give him a shot. There's Castro down there, who can play second. Like, give him a shot. Get some of these guys up here, and if it's at the expense of Polanco, is the risk, is the reward of him being the good teammate outweigh having another teammate get some time at PNC Park and playing, having your eyes on him? I don't know.
Yeah, and you could probably sign a veteran presence for relatively cheap. Like at the end of the day, Polanco really wasn't here during the winning times. Other than 15, maybe like 14, he was here and not there.
Right.
Good point.
For the most part, he's been around a lot of bad Pirates teams.
Yeah, there's been quite a few of them since having there.
But he's handled it a lot better than our guy Jose Tabata, I feel like.
I don't know much about the end of Tabata's time here, but yeah. It's gonna be sad to see Polanco go, but yeah, I agree. Like, it's just time to move on. It's time to move on from him. Turn that page in the book.
He's pretty much like that last page in the book. He is probably that last page.
Yeah. He's like the last holdover. Him and Newman, I guess you could say Newman too.
I gotta think.
He can go too.
I mean, maybe Stallings, but not really.
I guess Newman didn't really come up until 2018. I thought he was around earlier than that.
I mean, there's still a lot of Neil Huntington guys here, but
I guess Adam Frazier, really.
Yeah,
I think Adam Frazier.
I mean, he's gone.
Most
Is
tenured.
Frazier. Well, I guess Polanco is probably the most,
Yeah, Polanco was here at 14.
and then Frazier since 2016. Yeah. So, yeah, he's probably second most.
Well, since we're talking about Frazier, there was a trade that happened today. Speaking of Tampa Bay again, they get their guy, right? They get Cruz from the Twins. Power bat. I would say pretty solid return for the Twins. I mean, you're talking about a rental in Nelson Cruz. He's having a really good season. Like, the bat's definitely there, but he's a DH.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker.
The guy's the Tom Brady of baseball.
Well, Tom Brady was
He just shows up.
also good his early years.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he just shows up and hits 40 bombs and probably naps in the clubhouse.
Right. But yeah, I mean, he's 41 years old. He's still mashing. He's a DH, though. It's his last year. He fetches a pretty solid return. So now let's kind of just, of course, tie this into Adam Frazier. You know, we're still not sure what his trade value is, but does this make you feel a little more optimistic about what the return for Frazier can be? I know they're definitely two different players. I mean, Frazier's not a masher like him, but Frazier plays defense. You know, he plays a position, a premier position. He doesn't have the power, but his total output offensively is just about as good as Cruz, if you're looking at WRC plus, but his WARs is well above and beyond, and he has one more year of control. So, are you guys optimistic about this now, seeing that that's what Cruz got?
It's going to be interesting to see what other people value Frazier at, because, again, Nelson Cruz has a proven track record. Like, he is who he is, right? I think there's still people with some question marks on who Adam Frazier really is. But again, like, for the immediate time, right, Frazier's playing better than Cruz. He's got that additional year of control. And I guess we just saw Cruz bring back 2 45 future value prospects, right? So basically that's like saying, okay, if Cruz can bring back 2 45 future value prospects, can Frazier bring back a 50 and a 45, right? I think that's probably maybe what we're looking at right now. I think the answer to that question is yes. Like, I would think so.
So let me ask you this as well in the same sense. Like, I'm sure most people in Pittsburgh were probably going to say and revolt, but if the Pirates were to receive this package for Frazier, how would you have looked at it?
I would have been a little bit underwhelmed. I would have wanted maybe a little bit more upside than they got. Because I think if you look at this trade in particular, the two prospects that they got are, they're kind of older, higher floor guys than they are higher ceiling. So I would be disappointed with like this type. If this was the return for Adam Frazier, I wouldn't really be all that happy about it. I mean, these are 2 starting pitchers who are pretty much ready. They're pretty much major league ready. If they're not now, then they will be within a year. And neither of which are going to be, number 1s or number 2s or even number 3s. You're probably looking at, 4th and 5th starters here. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Joe Ryan's kind of a dude. Have you looked at his numbers?
Yeah.
He's
You think Joe Ryan
pretty
like
good.
top of rotation starter? I mean, the dude's
No,
25.
but I'm saying
I mean, he's
I
25.
get that, but yeah, but he hasn't been in the organization that long, really.
Right. He was a 2018 pick, right? No.
Yeah, and we missed a year.
Yeah.
But I mean, the dude is dealt. And knowing the Rays, he's probably going to be a top of the rotation starter.
Then why
I would be surprised at this point. If he top of the rotation starters aren't in AAA at age 25. Sorry, they're not.
I am with you though. I think the trade would be a little light for Frazier. You want a little more. But I think we need to get realistic with it and realize we're not getting. I'm going to go back to yesterday's episode where we talked about you're not getting 2 top 100 prospects. It's just not going to happen.
No, absolutely not.
You're going to be lucky to get 1.
And I think that's what I'm looking for is like if you look at someone who's got a 50 future value, right? They may be in the top 100, they may be just outside of it, one of the
but
others.
they're close.
But somebody in that category who can be a top 100 prospect, maybe in a year or two, I think that's who they should be going after. Somebody like that, and seeing if Cruz can get 2 45s back, I think Frazier can get you a 45 and a 50.
I am actually with you. You don't want a 25-year-old starting pitcher for Adam Frazier. That's just not in the right window here.
Yeah. So and so just kind of just put things out there, Jim talking about and this is the thing too, and maybe the question was like this return. I'm kind of with you, like the age and stuff, but I guess the value of like this return, like the 245s, So say like they're younger, but they're still 245s. Like, would you be comfortable like with that type of return for Adam Frazier?
Yeah, I probably would if they were younger.
So now knowing
are we calling them 45 based upon Fangraphs?
Yeah. I'm looking
because
they're Fangraphs, yeah.
MLB,
yeah, because they're gonna give you.
Okay.
They're not even ranked, are they?
No, not
in MLB. No, I mean like in the Rays top 30. I did not see them.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well, right now they slide in.
Or did I?
They're like 13th and 14th in the Rays system, somewhere in there.
I must have been looking at the wrong thing because I was looking at Pipeline and I did not see them.
Pipeline, they slide into the Twin system as 6 and 13.
The Twin system.
Right, maybe I'm correct.
The Rays, but
because I'm not gonna lie, I don't see them on Pipeline's top 30 for the Rays or for the Rays. God, I'm stupid.
They might have already.
I went full retard. I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Continue.
But
I'm ruining everything.
No, but like if we're playing trade talks here, right? If that's what we want to talk about here, and I mentioned the Giants, right? As a suitor, right? Like ideally, you're maybe looking at if I'm looking at the Giants prospect list here, I would love to get somebody like Luis Matos and Jairo Pomares, right? Like that deal right there, I would love.
And so transitioning, right? Like we're talking about the Nelson one. If that's his value, you're like that kind of matches up with Frazier, you would think. So no, is that a top 100 prospect? No. Actually, he isn't.
Matos is probably fringe, but
I'm saying he's not, in air quotes, he's not in the 100. So people look at 100. And the thing is, like, people feel top 100 means a whole lot, but like the number 90 compared to like the number 140 probably isn't a whole lot of difference, right? So like you said, I just want to make sure he wasn't in the top 100 because I didn't think so. So you're looking at like a fringe guy, but like that's a legit return. And that's what I was looking here too. That's a really legit return. That could be Matos like your Peguero.
Matos and Pomares, give me that all day, every day.
And I think that right now that's what the Nelson Cruz trade is presenting. Like that's that should be about the line of like a Frazier return would be.
I would agree.
So let's keep him in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think looking at San Francisco's system, like they've got the pieces to make it happen. And you're looking at the Giants are probably going to go all in this year because they know that like this is their shot probably. Because like at some point they're not going to be able to keep this up because their guys are just going to get older. So if I'm the Giants, I'm just going for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like if you're the Giants, you gotta try your damnedest to win that division.
Exactly. You got to trace Luciano.
and the thing is too, right? Like these guys aren't like literally what you talk about. They're not getting younger. Like this is your window.
Yeah.
This is your shot.
Yeah.
Bucko Mike says he agrees on Jim's return. Sign it in blood.
There we go. If Bucko Mike agrees with me, then we know it's good.
Wow. Cam Boniface says, good job, Jim.
If that ends up being the trade, color me very enthusiastic about it.
If it also ends up being the trade, you're taking over Justin's spot on Pirates Twitter. He's done.
Yeah, right.
You're crowned champ. You called it. All right. So who's going to win the World Series this year? Tyler,
That's a rude question to ask.
If you were to bet money, who's winning the World Series this year?
Pittsburgh Pirates. Because I like to lose money, so. Oh boy.
So
I don't see it being Giants, obviously. Like I think it's all fool's gold. We all talked about it.
Nothing, huh?
you know what I think happens? Just because I love a nice, feel good story. I think the Houston Astros. Houston Astros won it. America's team.
So you're not taking the Dodgers, who are favored right now with DraftKings?
No, I think I may even go across the river here and make a bet and put some money on the Astros.
It's really not a bad bet, though.
You know what's awesome though? So it's funny. We're a Pittsburgh Pirates site. None of us live in Pennsylvania. It's legal to gamble in Pennsylvania. You guys don't live anywhere it's legal, right?
Well, I can drive 10 minutes and it's legal.
Okay.
I can drive 15 and it's legal.
All right. Well, then I am. So Florida is actually up in their game. Florida, I'm going to be able to bet on sports here soon. Which is crazy is like
When's
Florida.
that happening?
I don't know exactly, but there's a whole thing in play. So it's legal down here for casinos and all that. Like Hard Rock in Tampa, all the Indian casinos, the reservations there, and they're opening up to them. Like they're allowing them to have sports betting, but I think it's like they're getting like don't quote, I think $280 billion over like the next 30 years or something from it.
Jeez.
So they're getting taxed a lot for allowing it, but it's just going to be them that's allowed. Like it's just them that's allowed to do it. But they have an online site, so I'm going to be able to bet soon. I'm excited because I feel like how can Pennsylvania have sports betting and not Florida? Like you're allowed to do anything in Florida. In Pennsylvania, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
we're close in Ohio.
Wasn't Florida though? Like the main holdup though was like the reservations. Like wasn't that the main holdup kind of the whole time? So like they just had to like kind of make a deal with them. I know my state, Kentucky, we're probably screwed. I feel like we're going to be number 50 to make it happen.
You're going to be 51 because they're going to have another state sometime before Kentucky.
Right. Well, there'll be a new state by the time Kentucky allows it. But
what the hell state's 10 minutes from you?
It's going to be New Kentucky.
Indiana,
and it's not the side Jim's on.
Okay, right, I didn't know where you were.
Right across the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go to West Virginia and do it.
Yeah. But no, I think the Astros. Astros are my call. There's a good team.
I forgot we were talking about this.
I
Shit.
feel like it would just be. I feel like it would be just super fun to watch everybody just like. I feel like it was fun last year. Watching
would be a fun
Carlos
meltdown.
Correa. Like watching Carlos Correa just like tell everybody that like just like screw you guys. Like that was fun. I would love an Astros Dodgers World Series again, and the Astros win again.
I just don't. I mean, there's definitely storylines there. There's
I kind
definitely.
of just want to. I want to stick with the Dodgers for some reason.
I mean, they're good.
I feel like I know. I feel like it's just like the regular, like really boring sports talk host pick, but nobody else is exciting. Like they still got dudes.
Yeah. What's
Like
crazy is that
there are the
I know wild card game is going to be nuts.
yeah. We might get Dodgers Padres.
Yeah.
That will be must watch TV.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a 5-hour game. It's going to be Avengers Endgame on steroids.
I don't know. Like I get the storylines, but I need the Padres to be in there or something. Like I need something exciting. I need Tatis in there. It's a damn shame, Juan Soto won't be in there because he's on the Nationals and they stink. But he at least had his moment. I mean,
the Padres aren't a bad pick though. Like they got arms to go for days.
And how about them coming out and saying that they're willing to go over like the tax threshold? And we're talking about the Padres.
Yeah.
What happened to the Padres? Where did they come from? They're like printing money. Everyone in MLB is like, we're poor. We need welfare. And the Padres are like, oh, let's just spend $10 billion. We'll just trade for all the players.
The other thing too, like they've acquired these players, but like guess what now? That place is just like if you watch Padres games every night, that place is just like a zoo. Like it's packed every night. It's like a party in there. Like those fans love that team. So yeah, they're probably making quite a bit of money. Selling out that stadium. They're selling out that stadium every night. I'm sure they're getting pretty good sponsorship deals because there's a lot of eyeballs on them. Yeah, it goes back to my whole thing. Like you can spend money and just expect that you're going to get more revenue. Like that's how it works. Spend more money.
The other great part of
people show up.
The other great part about picking the Padres is watching Joe Musgrove probably close out the Game 7 of the World Series and watching Pirates Twitter go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like Charlie Morton all over.
Maybe looking forward to that because I get to hear again about how, did you know he played for the Pirates and they traded him and everyone leaves the Pirates. They end up playing so well.
He's going to throw a no-hitter in Game 7.
I mean, the Padres do have arms that go for days.
Yep.
Like they can match up with anyone.
And even
they just got to get through that wild card game.
And like that AL East too is still. There's 4 teams in the AL East.
No, there's not. There's 3. Eliminate Cleveland.
Not the Yankees. The what? The AL
Oh,
East.
sorry, Central.
No, Blue Jays.
I'm
Yankees,
screwing everything
Red
up
Sox,
tonight.
Rays, they could all do it.
Remove the Yankees. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're.
But like, if the Yankees make some deals and plug in the holes that they have, they could be right back in it.
I was preparing myself mentally for like a Cleveland fight.
Well, the AL Central's trash. So.
AL Central's
not good. Cleveland's probably going to sell off everything, which is going to make me so happy.
I mean, they already kind of are. I mean, with Lindor.
I want it all gone. I want to watch them suffer.
I mean, all they have left really is Bieber and Ramirez, and I guess Plesac. I mean, he's young enough.
Get rid of them
think
all.
they'd move Plesac, but you got to think Ramirez is like the next guy to go.
Oh, this offseason for sure. He's done.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, I'm semi shocked that it wasn't this off season, but
that would be a move at this deadline that would make some shockwaves.
I'm really surprised we haven't heard more Jose Ramirez talk.
I am too, actually.
I mean, the Indians are out of it. They're 8.5 games out of the division. They don't have a shot at the wild card.
The most annoying part is that the White
guess
Sox
they
are
have a
going to win
shot.
that division, and we're going to have to hear about how great Tony Lewis is.
Oh,
Because he made his man retire and then come back.
and then come back.
We turned the team around.
No, he didn't.
Dude, that
He
team's
made
about
a
to
man.
get.
He made a man retire. The team turned
that
around
team's
because
about
the
to
team
get-
was good.
Yeah, and they're
It's
about
what
to
we're
get.
going to hear.
Eloy and Robert are both coming back in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're going to
Yeah.
get Adam Frazier.
I just don't think the White Sox legitimately have what it takes to get Adam Frazier. Their farm
They
system
do.
is shot.
They have Vaughn. They have what it takes. Don't be cheap. Send Vaughn.
Right. Yeah, I don't think the White Sox have what it takes to get a deal done. I know that they're a good fit in that they could probably use them, but I don't.
Unless something
I would not
Charrington
be
sees.
happy. Yeah, I wouldn't really be happy with
Scouting.
any sort of package that they could put together. I mean, you got to think probably the best that they could do, right? If you're realistic about it, because they're not trading Vaughn, Kopech, or Crochet, right? So you're thinking Jared Kelly, Jose Rodriguez. Those are probably the two main pieces of any kind of deal coming back. And you'd still need another guy. Maybe Yolbert Sanchez or something. I don't know. But you would need another guy. And I just don't think they have what it takes to do it.
Agree.
Shall be interesting.
I'm putting my money on the Padres.
It's a decent pick.
When I return to PNC this year, which might actually happen, maybe beginning of September. FYI for you guys, maybe something in the works. When I return, I'm going to the bets and I'm betting the Padres. I'm going to the bets. I'm going to the Rivers. Rivers bets.
Going to Rivers.
Rivers bets. Is that what it's called? The sports book? Is it called Rivers bets?
I don't know.
I think so. I'm going to the Rivers and I'm putting money down on the Padres. And I'm going to win a whole lot of money.
Oh, I love throwback jokes.
That's my pick, is the Padres. Maybe they need Adam Frazier and Tyler
actually-
Anderson. Listen to them.
Actually, it's been so long since I've been to the casino that I still have my 2020 bets that I need to
Cash in.
hopefully they're still
Oh my God.
Well, I need to actually get my money back because they were futures bets and then half the season got canceled. So I did a bunch of over under win totals for 2020 and they only played 60 games.
So you need your refund.
Yeah.
Use that money to come to Pittsburgh in September.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice. Well, I'll say go check out sportsbettingdime.com if you want to place your bet. They got FanDuel, DraftKings, Fox Bet, BetMGM. I'm betting the Padres. Jim, you're betting the Astros?
Astros all the way.
What are you betting, Tyler?
I'm going Dodgers.
Jeez, you guys are lame.
I know. I hate it. It's a great
love
bet
it.
when you hate it, though.
I would be good with Astros Padres. That would be fun.
Would be an entertaining series.
It would. But I almost feel like if it is Astros in there, I kind of, I guess, would want the Dodgers because that's a good storyline. Like that.
You know what would be cool though? What would be fun about Astros Padres is it would it force Dodgers fans to have to root for the Padres?
I mean, if not, then you're rooting for the Astros.
Right? They'd have to become Padres fans. That would be pretty funny.
Oh, they would hate their lives. It's officially become LA Rams football season.
Right.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about here?
Anyway, way past my bedtime.
Yeah, we know.
Matt Frazier just hit a grand slam tonight. Another
Is that
homer.
his
He's
on
called up.
fire. Dude's on fire.
He's
17th?
hooked up.
Call him up to Altoona. Yep, 17th.
Man, Frazier can hit. Who would have thought? Who would have
Tyler's boy today too. Mojica 5 for 5 tonight.
Oh yeah, you love it.
Things you love to see.
Yep.
We'll get way more into that at some other point, but there are thoughts there. Just on the philosophy of Sherrington of promoting people. He does seem very conservative.
Oh.
That's a song for another time.
Well, yeah, it is. But I mean, at some point, like someone has to move because you can't have like a 30-man roster.
Right. You know what that is? That's an NS9 WRC plus, whatever we call it now.
WRC plus.
That's
WNS9 plus.
that's a mouthful. And if you want to know how big of a mouthful,
call it the dub.
I think I got the recording of DiNardo not getting it right for 4 times in a row.
Yeah, well, I eliminated that. Due to the magic of editing, you only hear one intro. But yeah, so check it out this Sunday, WNS9 Plus. We have Mike Persack on. And it was fun. It was a good time. So come listen. We'll talk some Adam Frazier. We'll talk some draft. Hopefully our boy Lonnie signs. Still don't know yet. Still very unclear. But with that said, we're out of here. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
See you later, guys.